Good morning, everyone. This is Saravanan. So, Assistant Professor in Department of Information Technology, Punguroda College of Engineering and Technology. So, I'd like to share you the topic of software process, just coming into the human-computer interaction. So, I hope you know well that software development lifecycle having different types of activities that will be more helpful for implementing the software. So, I would like to share you this. So, okay. So, in human-computer interaction, the part of design and software process, there will be of an HCI in software process that will have an different types of activity, which is most to support for software development lifecycle. So the software engineering, it provides a means of understanding the structure of the design process, and the process can be assessed for its effectiveness in interaction system design. Software lifecycle, which describes the activity that take place from the initial concept formulations to the software system until its evaluation base out and the replacements are coming to end, having all the details relevant to the development of the process. It provides the structure for applying the techniques to develop the software system. The software development lifecycle is to identify the activities that occur in the software development. That activity must then be ordered in time in any development project, and appropriate technique must be adopted to carry out them through the development of the software system. There are different types of parties are coming to rise in this software development lifecycle. One is the customer who is going to get beneficial from the software, and another one is the designer who is going to develop and provide the product to the customer. These are the people they are going to involve in this particular software development activity. These are different types of activities which is coming to rise in the software development lifecycle, which is most probably very important activity that should be useful in all the types of software development lifecycle. So the first thing is the requirement specification. The designer and the customer, they're trying to capture a description of what the eventual system will be expected to develop or provide. It involves eliciting information from the customer about the work environment or the domain in which the final product will function. The requirement specification being start of the product development that will most helpful for implementing the designing and coding of the software process. The requirements are usually initially expressed in the native language of the customer because of the proper understanding will provide the proper software system. So the architectural design is the next activity. It concentrates on how the system provides the services expected from this. It describes the interdependencies between the separate component and sharing of resources that will arise between the components. The functional requirement of the system, the services the system must provide in work domain will be identified here in proper. The non-functional requirements like features of the system should be identified very, very clear in this particular architectural design place. So the designing about the architectural designing is successfully completed. It enter into the detailed design process of the proper system implementations. This detailed design is a refinement of the component description. It's provide the architectural design. Choosing the best refinement is often a matter of trying to satisfy as much of possibly the non-functional requirement of the system as possible. The coding and unit testing is coming to arise in the next. This will be as efficient and excellent process activity for implementing the excellent software system. The detailed design for the component of the system should be in such a form that it is possible to implement it in some executable programming language, maybe like an C, C++, Java, or anything is most suitable for the system implementation. After coding, the component can be tested to verify that it performed correctly and according to some test criteria that were determined in easier activities. So after completion of the above process activity, they enter into the interaction and testing phases. Once enough components have been implemented, those are go for an individual test and they must be integrated as described in the architectural design manual. Further test is done to ensure the correct behavior or acceptable use of any shared resources should be properly used and accessed and processed. Everything should be checked clear. To perform some acceptance testing, this will the customer to ensure that the system meets their requirement in proper. The maintenance activity part is to identify the majority of lifetime of the product is spent in the maintenance activity. The maintenance involves the corrections of error in the system, which are discovered after release and revision of the system services to satisfy the requirements that were not realized during the previous implementation process. The verification, validation are very, very important part of the above lifecycle activity. The validation to check as the designing is make of right thing. The verification base to check whether the designing is having the thing is right. The verification of the design will must often occur within the single life cycle activity or between two adjacent activities. The validation of the design, it demonstrates that within the various activity, the customer requirements are get satisfied. The management and constructional is uses are possibly available here that will be get solved and is successfully fulfilled. In management, the marketability of the system, its training needs, the availability of skilled persons and possible subcontractors and other topic outside the activity for the development or isolated systems are available. The intermediate deliverables, which represent the technical content, as the designer must demonstrate to the customer that progress is being made. As the design activity proceeds, the customer and the designer must sign off the various documents and indicating their satisfaction of the process. The signed requirement specification, they indicate both that the customer agreed to limit the demands of the eventual product to this list in the specification, and also the designer agrees to meet all the requirements are listed in proper. If the content is going to having a clear idea about the software process development, is coming under the human-computer interactions part, the design and development activities. So I hope you understand this in clear. So thank you.